What is it? Is there something on my face? I may not be for long. Anyway, I'm Layla, a Ratawa student at the academia. For now, at least. I was just looking up some information at the House of Dana. But the more I read, the more I realized that my thesis lacks integrity. I didn't cover many of the possible outliers, and my calculations aren't precise enough. I should have been done with the first draft of my thesis by now, but I've barely written a third. Well, I guess I have to keep looking up as much info as possible. I shouldn't give up now. But who am I kidding? Maybe I'm not cut out to be a researcher. Maybe I shouldn't have come to the academia in the first place. All I've done is cause trouble for my advisor and classmates. I should probably notify my advisor sooner than later, so he can focus his attention on the other students. No, I don't even have the guts to bring it up, and I haven't completely given up yet. To be honest, I haven't slept a wink for days. Just thinking about the awful state of my thesis keeps me up at night. Lack of sleep hinders my ability to focus, and if I can't focus, I can't do any proper research or thinking. I'm stuck in a vicious cycle. I've seen the caliber of the other academia students. They're all geniuses and fast learners. I'm nowhere near as gifted as they are. If it wasn't for someone who's been helping me out, my advisor probably would have kicked me out of the Darshan by now. No. All my friends are back home. I'm the only one who got to come study at the academia. This might sound strange, but I actually don't know who's been helping me. I don't even know if they're a person or not. Due to my lack of sleep, I sometimes get dizzy and faint when I'm stressed out. Yeah, but oddly enough, when I wake up, all the things I was stressing over are taken care of. My homework's somehow finished before the deadline, and my papers are perfectly written. But that's not all. My flowers are watered, laundry's done, even my broken camera was fixed. I really don't know what's going on, but for now, I'm calling the phenomenon a blessing from the stars. Maybe the stars above decided to help out after seeing all the effort I put into my research. If that's even possible. But there's no point in me studying at the academia if I keep relying on this mysterious phenomenon. It comes down to my own efforts, improving one step at a time. How else can I honor my parents and live up to the expectations of everyone who knows me? Oh no, I've already spent too much time chatting. I still haven't made much headway on my thesis. At this rate, I'll need the Wisdom Seelie's help. Yes, but time's of the essence. so I have to take what I can get. Oh, sorry. I'm just making excuses. But the Wisdom Sealy is truly amazing and freely shares its endless knowledge. Oh, if you want its help, all you have to do is write down your question and you'll get a response a short while later. No one knows who or what it actually is. It's just known as the Wisdom Sealy. But getting an answer all comes down to the Sealy's mood. Sometimes it'll only give you a vague answer or play tricks on you. I'm pretty sure a researcher wouldn't do something like that. All I can do right now is hope that it helps me. Who knows if it'll happen this time? I can't put all my eggs in one basket. Trying my luck with another phenomenon is, better than doing nothing. Oh, really? But I don't want to take up your time. Sorry for the bother. You're too kind. Okay, let's go give it a try. I've already prepared my question for the Sealy. I just hope it can help me get through this predicament. Among the countless legends surrounding the House of Dana, the Wisdom Sealy is one of the more popular ones lately. It hasn't been around for long, but word of the Sealy's existence spread like wildfire. Many people have claimed that they've received a reply from it. So, it should probably help me as well, right? I don't know its name, and we have to keep our voices down in the House of Dana. Or else you'll get some scary glares from the Mahamada. Let's split up and ask around about the Sealy. Hopefully someone knows something more. Excuse me? Have you ever heard of the Wisdom Sealy?
You've come to the right person. I came across this legend not too long ago myself. After hearing about it, I decided to test it out and asked it a question about the brightness of the stars. 2 days later, I got a response. It included 2 pages of detailed and accurate information. It saved me from having to look up a ton of resources.
Really?
Yeah, so I submitted another question a few days ago. I still haven't received a reply, though.
That sounds like what others have said. But I don't have the time to wait for a reply if the Sealy doesn't answer right away. Whatever. Can you please tell me how to submit a question to the Wisdom Sealy?
It's quite simple. Go to the bookshelf over there and find either Theoretical Astrology or a quick reference guide to astrology cases.
Oh, I know where those are. My Darshan has us use those 2 books quite often.
Okay, so write your question in a letter addressed to the Wisdom Sealy, and then insert the letter into one of the books. Come back in a day or 2, and if you see a red stamp on your letter, that means the Wisdom Sealy has replied. However, if the stamp never appears, then that means the Sealy doesn't want to answer your question.
I see. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go write down my question. Hopefully the Sealy replies. today. I wrote out my question and put it in the book. Wait, I guess. Let's give it some time. I'll come back tomorrow to check on it. Don't worry about me if you have other things to do. I see. Thanks. I appreciate it. Alright then, let's meet up here tomorrow. I really hope this silly replies. Time to look at the letter. Please let there be a stamp. Please let there be a stamp. There's a red stamp on it. The silly responded. Fantastic. This is wonderful. My troubles are at an end. I can't even begin to express how grateful I am. Let's take a look at what it wrote. Thank you for your letter. Though I have extended a response, I cannot answer your query due to your questionable motives. Questionable motives? Me? Wait, huh? Okay, let's see. Completing a thesis requires independent thought and work. You planned on using my knowledge to complete your paper's most critical portions. That's not right. However, considering that your deadline is fast approaching, and that there is substance to the content in the completed sections of your thesis, I've decided to help you nonetheless. Follow the hints I've left, and you will find the answer to your question. Consider the effort you put into thinking and searching as your payment for my knowledge. What the... It's absolutely right about everything. Oh, I'm starting to feel guilty now. I can't deny any of it. But I'm running out of time. Oh, what should I do? Huh? I could tell you're a very kind person, but I never expected that you'd go this far to help me. I'll definitely think of a way to make it up to you once I take care of my thesis. Okay, let's start by looking at the hint it left us. It should be on the second page. The first clue lies hidden on the road of wisdom. The headstrong child finally sees the world for how big it truly is, filled with awe, yet struck with fear. That's it? Not even a picture or any other marking to go off of. This is pretty abstract. What's this road of wisdom and who's the child? Possibly. That sounds like a natural conclusion. So, is the road of wisdom the road that leads to the academia then? Wait, I think I get what it means by the child and awe and fear. When I first left home, it took me days to reach Sumeru City. I was completely shocked when I first saw it with my own eyes. It was so grand and awe-inspiring. Pictures of the city simply don't do it any justice. After seeing the city, a thought popped into my head. Am I really worthy of this place? Worry, fear, or whatever you want to call it. If I'm connecting the dots correctly, then I think I know where the Sealy is leading us. But how does it know my feelings so well? You have a point. There's nothing special about my background or experiences. It could be anyone's. Anyway, let's go take a look. Oh, we should be close. This is the way I came when I first traveled to Sumeru City. Aw, it's been way too long since I last visited home. No, this isn't the time for that kind of talk. We have to hurry and find the clues that the Sealy left behind. It is. Relying solely on what the Sealy said might not be viable. Assuming the Sealy is intentionally linking the clues to my past, I think I have an idea. So this is a little embarrassing. At that time, the sight of Sumeru City was absolutely mesmerizing. I was anxious, but also excited about all the things to come. I was distracted and accidentally stepped on an Avidia leopard's tail. I didn't notice it at all. The poor thing was sound asleep, and after I stepped on its tail, it bolted straight up. I freaked out and ran as fast as I could. There were actually more Avidia leopards sleeping nearby, and they were all faster than me. I almost got bitten a couple of times. Good thing someone from the Eremites heard me shouting for help. They managed to scare off the leopards. Yeah, but when I finally managed to calm myself down, I noticed that the talisman my mother had made for me was missing. It's extremely precious to me. Ever since I was little, I would always carry it with me whenever I'm doing something important. I also had it with me when the academia conducted its selection exam at my village. I checked my bag at least a dozen times to make sure the talisman was in there. I feel much more at ease knowing that I have it with me. I had thought that it would also help me calm my nerves in Sumeru City, but I ended up losing it before I even finished registration at the academia. Yeah, and that's when I started having sleeping problems. I just began to sleep less and less each day. Losing a talisman like that is definitely a bad omen. Oh, sorry. I'm starting to ramble again. What were we talking about before? Right. Why the Sealy led us here. I think we should look around where the Avidia leopards attacked me. If the Sealy is trying to make me remember things that happened in the past, it would make the most sense for it to hide clues in memorable locations. Hope the Sealy's clue wasn't also torn to shreds by Avidia leopards. I'm sorry, you're right. It's a bad habit of mine. I suppose any progress is a step in the right direction. Let's go. should be close. Sure enough, it's here. And in a really obvious place. That pretty much confirms my hunch about the Sealy's intentions. I don't know, but how did it know about all these details? I've hardly told anyone about this stuff. It's not hiding somewhere and spying on me, is it? Oh, that's a scary thought. Anyway, let's look at the clue we found. Seems like you haven't forgotten about your very first failure. See? It knows everything. I have no idea what's going on. No wonder this Sealy is becoming legendary. Let's keep reading the clue. I've placed the second clue where heaven meets water. The answer, seemingly amongst the stars, was ultimately washed to some unremarkable place downstream. Just as I thought. It's something to do with me again. If the first clue was any indication, then the location described in this clue should also be related to my life experiences. Most Ratawa's research is related to studying the stars. My own thesis work often requires me to go in the field and collect astrological data. And, let's just say there's another devastating and unforgettable failure I had. But that can't be helped, right? We do many things not because we want to, but because we have to. Let's keep moving. It might be hard to believe, but being out and about is making me feel a lot better than usual. We're here. That's the spot. That's where I performed my first field observation after enrolling at the academia. I borrowed some equipment from the school and came here on a perfectly clear day. Everything was ready to go and I was positive that I'd be able to get some great data. But the equipment was a little heavy and I didn't notice that the ground was muddy and some spots were unstable. After I finished setting up everything, part of the ground suddenly shifted and my equipment started teetering over. I rushed over to grab hold of it, but I ended up tripping over another piece of equipment. The next thing I knew, everything was covered with muddy water. Me and all my equipment. You must be wondering how someone can be so clumsy. You wouldn't be wrong for thinking that. Right. It's a vicious. I just got a minor to pay off the debt. Bingo. After all, I am, of course, although, but and that's it. Anyways. Here, it's over here. Good thing it's dry. I was worried the message might be wet. Let's see. Have you found it? the unremarkable place downstream. Well, of course. How else could I be reading this message? Seriously. Ahem. I've placed the third hint at a cross. I don't know if the. Anyway. This is the place that I came here, but they were a group of not someone. However, I didn't know then. Eventually, it took long. I don't know. I could have stepped in to help. It's just. Here. We're probably getting close now. Let's search this area. Here it is, just as I thought. The ceiling must have placed it here in it. Let's... guess not. Whatever. Thanks, but I'm fine.
Coming! Oh, it's you, Layla. That's no way to greet a friend. Of course I know you. Is this a friend of yours? Or perhaps a classmate?
A friend. I reckon, but he shouldn't know any. Yeah, even if he's.
Is something the matter? So you aren't joking? Do you still remember when my family and I were being robbed by a gang of treasure hoarders?
Yes, but.
How so? You told us everything yourself the last time we met. My family and I were surrounded by treasure hoarders, and I didn't know what to do. But then, we heard people approaching in the distance. Those treasure hoarders were the first to hear them coming and started to flee the moment they sensed the situation wasn't going their way. They didn't even bother taking anything with them. I wasn't sure what had happened, but the treasure hoarders were scared off. I immediately grabbed my wife and child and got out of there.
Oh.
I thought it was a party of adventurers that happened to pass by, but later you told me that you had spotted us and ran to find help. You were amazing. You managed to keep a level head even in the midst of danger. I know you have a vision, so those treasure hoarders wouldn't have been a match for you. But they might have harmed me and my family if their backs were pushed against the wall. It's been some time, but not too long ago. I don't recall exactly when. What's wrong? Nothing's coming to mind? You came over and ate with us, and you played games with my son. If only we had taken a picture. Oh, you forgot a package here from that visit. You'll definitely remember once you see it. Wait here, I'll go fetch it.
This is the talisman that to Layla? No, self-failure. If you're reading on the back, I hope that this journey has provided insight for your life ahead. From always, I thought we were going to fail. I thought that, but the ceiling, I doubt it. I mean, 'cause I'll write back if it wasn't.
I'm not sure if I understand what has happened, but it's something good, right?
Yes, it's something.
Well then, since you're already here, why don't you stay and have something to eat? We just finished preparing some food.
Oh,
Come on, don't be a stranger. Your friend should join us as well. You can leave your troubles until after the meal. You must relax and gather your strength so you can take on the challenges ahead, am I right?
all right. This is the place that immediately. But what about my thesis? We still. All right, I'm. All right. I feel bad for making you go through so much. I'm sorry. Watch out! Monsters! No, but I want to. I mustn't. I should take. If you miss those opportunities. All right. Be gone!
You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer.
You're toast!
You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. Surrender.
Let's dance. Hi. Hi. Windblade. Booba, get the.
My. Come a little closer.
It's well, but then again, I'm just happy I didn't. Oh, although, can you? guess. Huh. Suppose that means the Sealy is someone who's very true. Oh, after all. Huh? It's the Sealy we're talking about. According... Sorry. I'm just a... Okay, Layla. We have the red stamp. Bear, let's go and... Hi there. Have you...
Do I really look like the kind of student that would be interested in such a pointless legend?
Oh, I'm sorry. We were just curious.
Well, I do happen to have some information on it. Huh? Logically, that has nothing to do with the question I asked. I just don't want others to see me as some poor excuse for a student whiling away my time in the House of Dana.
I don't really think bad students would come to the House of Dana to pass...
Well, one time, late at night, a black shadow fell from above and landed in the central area of the House of Dana. Of course, I was a little sleepy at the time, but it startled me, and I got up to see what was going on. Then, the shadow quickly circled behind me with incredible speed. Just as I tried to turn around to get a look at it, I fainted. Yes, it was unbelievably fast. I had never seen anything like it. It was so unusual that I wasn't sure if it was real or if I was half dreaming. But given how popular the legend of the Sealy has become lately, maybe this has something to do with it. It was closed that night. I suppose even the House of Dana needs to be closed for maintenance from time to time.
I see, but what were you doing here?
Don't look so surprised. It's a common practice to find a place to hide before they lock the doors, so you can continue reading books here. Everyone knows that. You're welcome.
Hi there. Do you know anything about the Wisdom Sealy?
Yes, of course. I've been looking into it for quite a while now. However, I feel like I'm still missing some key pieces of information. Hey, maybe if we put our heads together, we can figure something out.
Sure.
There are a few known traits of the Wisdom Sealy. First, it's extremely strong. It can easily carry a few dozen books, along with 4 or 5 pieces of astrology equipment all at once. It's extremely athletic as well. It only moves in a straight line and doesn't stop for anything, not even walls or rivers. Lastly, it has a number of special abilities. It has a hardened metal body that's impervious to injury. It can freeze water into ice, and it can also summon meteors.
That doesn't...
Well, it is a legend after all. It's no surprise that some details seem a little exaggerated. But these aren't just made up, you know. Each of its abilities has been confirmed by eyewitnesses. There have been many sightings too, including at Chatrakam Cave, the Avidia Forest, and around the waterfall south of Sumeru City.
Has anyone...
Not that I know of. No one's been able to get close to it. It seems like it tries to stay out of sight. I would probably want to remain a mystery too, if I were someone as legendary as the Wisdom Sealy. So what do you make of it? Have you seen it somewhere as well?
No. We're probably gonna...
Not a problem. But if you manage to find anything, be sure to come and tell me about it. I trust that you'll quickly discover the excitement of slowly unraveling the truth.
Oh, hello there. Can I help you? Oh, are you also here to investigate the Ratawahist Wisdom Sealy legend?
Oh.
Yes, I myself am also quite curious about it, but unfortunately, I haven't found anything out of the ordinary. Given you're Ratawa's student, I'm sure you know that a lot of research references these two books. All our copies of these particular titles are frequently checked out. I have looked into it, but found no irregularities in the checkout logs.
Is there a-
Not likely. That would be almost impossible. The House of Dana is extremely strict about the circulation of its books. There will always be a record if a book is checked out. And even if it managed to figure out a way to take the books without leaving any record, it's possible that someone would come looking to borrow the books before the Seelie returned them. If someone discovers that a book is missing or that it doesn't match my inventory records, it would come to my attention immediately. However, it might be possible to pull off in the case of a less popular book.
Okay. Okay, some things we heard were... Yeah. First, then, well, from there... Book circulation. I may be able to come up with a more concrete lead if I keep... It once infiltrated the... I may be able to come up... I may be able to come up with... I may be able to come up with a more concrete... The stamp. Okay. First, the next, then the question. So based on this reasoning, all we,
There's really no need to fight over...
the weather today, honestly, but we'd get some sleep if you're Hank. We hardly, no matter how it's like I tried to something, it may be that for all I would the Seelie be with, of course, but that's what's wrong? Yeah, and, oh no. Oh, what's wrong? You look like you've got something on your mind. What are you talking about? What do you mean the other Layla? I am Layla. Fine. It appears that you were waiting for me to show up. I suppose there's no use in me pretending. I promise I don't mean any harm and I'll answer all your questions. But before that, would you mind telling me who you are first? Let me think. Okay, I got it. You two found this place by following the hints that I left behind. You were planning to wait for me. Or I should say you were waiting for the Seelie to show up. Was this your idea or hers? I see. Yes, she's always had great analytical skills. It'd be nice if she was more confident, though. All right, that's all the questions I have. Your turn. Please ask away. That's right. Though I didn't intend for it to turn out this way, really. I just wanted to help out a few other classmates who were having a hard time while I was helping Layla finish her thesis. You see, Layla doesn't have many friends at the academia. If the others noticed her helping them out, I thought maybe I'd help her become more sociable. Unfortunately, that didn't really work out. Instead, legends of the Seelie started going around. But that's alright. I can instantly tell which students are asking serious questions and which are just trying to take advantage of me to slack off. My time to move freely is quite limited, so it's only natural that I would punish the people attempting to waste my time. My intention is to help people. I'm not here to cause any harm. Infiltrating the House of Dana was a total accident. She'd forgotten an important book, and the House of Dana happened to be closed at the time. There were only days before the paper was due. I had no choice but to scale the walls with some simple climbing ropes and sneak in from above while the Core 30 wasn't paying attention. I had no idea there was still a student inside. I had no choice but to put him to sleep. Any clear evidence of my existence would only hinder my ability to conceal my identity. It would also expose me to Layla as well. As for the special powers, well, they're just things I did during the process of trying to finish the thesis. It's like I said, I don't have much time, so I need to be as efficient as possible. Well then, does that answer all your questions? You see, her emotions are incredibly unstable. She's constantly doubting herself. If she knew that there's another Layla who is capable of doing everything, she may think even less of herself. She could think, maybe I should just leave it all to her. I'm always relying on her anyway. Why not let her live my life for me? She might start thinking about giving up completely, and that's the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do for her. After all, she and I are one and the same. We're two sides of the same coin. No one knows her greatest strength more than I do. It's her resilience. If she's able to persevere in everything she does, then one day she won't need my help anymore. I trust that she's capable of doing that, and it's something that she should do on her own. She actually discovered the key data she needs for her thesis a long time ago. She just didn't organize it well enough. I'll complete her thesis for her just as I have in the past. Oh, please don't share any of this with her. I would like to keep this a secret for both of our sakes. Thank you for doing this for me. No, for us. She seems to be waking up now. Well, this is goodbye. If we never meet again, then I guess I did something right. Huh? Oh, I see. Was I sleepwalking? Hi, you said you were gonna... Please tell me... Huh? Hey! No. Let me... anyway, but the more I should have been done with the... Well, but who... I should probably, to be honest, lack of sleep. I've seen. Oh. If that was. Due to my. Yeah. But that's. I really don't. Maybe the stars of. It comes down to my. Oh no. Yes, but the wisdom sealy is. You're right, but what do we rest? But my deadline's. Then how should I? Oh, that. Let's sit down here and have some coffee and sweets. It'll help me put my thoughts together. No. We're here to rest. My problems will have to wait for now.
Oh, hey, Layla.
Huh?
I'm one of Layla's classmates. I just came by to say hi. We just submitted our theses and we're totally beat. Everyone will be meeting here to celebrate. Seeing how relaxed you look, you must have already had your thesis finished ages ago.
Oh.
You say that every time we talk, but you've never missed a deadline. Not only that, your papers are always well-written and thorough. Your advisor is constantly praising your work. Yet you're always going around saying stuff like, I can't make it, I don't understand, I'm super worried. That kind of talk doesn't reflect your work at all, you know.
Well,
For starters, she doesn't even try to participate with the group at all. It's one thing that she's not willing to help us, but she doesn't even bother showing up for our discussion meetings. Every time we come to see her, she looks out of sorts and on the verge of a breakdown. It's not like we can't finish our own theses without her, but no one wants to always see her this way.
I know.
Whatever, there's no point in starting an argument here. If you think she can justify her behavior, then that's your opinion.
I really want to help the. Yeah. It's actually. The thing is, and the more face it head up. The theory has of. And then there's the. What? Thank you. Okay, first on the. However, there are a lot. That's why I still haven't that's right. Huh? Oh, okay.
Ad Astra Episosk. Welcome.
I'd like to. Right.
I don't know any. However, after the adventure, perhaps we could arrange a.
Really?
You're welcome. The man's name is.
Hello.
Yes, hi. Ah, I see.
Yes, this is it. Thank you so much. Sorry.
To be honest, judging by what stands before me, I find it very hard to believe that you're an astute Ratawahist student.
Well...
Astrology is a hobby of mine, and these devices have cost me both time and mora to collect. I cherish them as if they were members of my own family. Which is why I don't let just anyone borrow them on a whim. These devices are delicate and can easily be damaged if used inappropriately.
Oh, that...
How about this? If your explanation proves satisfactory, then I'll lend you the device.
Share the contents of my research? And... All right.
Yes, that would be fine.
You're probably aware that...
Of course. This is the basic principle of astrology.
My current research is about a...
Interesting. That's not a topic any ordinary person would be familiar with. I have a basic understanding of the concept, but I'd like to hear you explain it.
As time continues to flow, the stars...
I think that it might just be another law of nature.
If the changes follow a certain pattern or routine, the changes could be resulting from a simple single orbit. What I'm working on now...
Triple orbit? By yourself?
Yeah.
You do know that adding an extra star to the equation increases the computational workload by more than tenfold, right?
It does. Which leads...
Amazing. I suppose I should never have judged a book by its cover. I thought you were just trying to half-heartedly deal with some school assignment.
Do I really...
It would make me
Good. Really? Really? I guess. Recording and compare... Let's continue. This seems like the best spot, so here's theoretic. However, that's why it's okay if your question... All right. Sure. You can... It's clear, stars, and that's... I'm gonna need more practice. Oh, really? Then this practice... I didn't need... I guess that I can... Oh, I'm sorry. I still don't know... That's somehow... Yeah, but I would... That's... It's almost like how you helped me. That's good. This seems like the best, so here theoretically, however, that's why it's okay if your question... All right. Huh? Is this something that I didn't prepare for at all? You've gotta be joking. About this question, I'm sorry. I'm not feeling very well. Everything is spinning. I'm sorry. I haven't been sleeping very well lately. I tend to get dizzy from time to time, but don't worry, I'm fine now. What's wrong? Oh, sorry. Can you please repeat the question? I didn't hear you clearly just now. Alright. I guess the cat's out of the bag. Of all the times to wake up. You're Layla's friend, right? And from the looks of things, the two of you are preparing for her thesis defense? With her long-term sleep deprivation, whenever her anxiety peaks, she loses consciousness and I take over. However, her unpredictable and varying sleep patterns are completely out of my control, so I have to make every second count. There's no one willing to help her here, so I have to step in. I am rather curious about you, though. Why are you trying to help her? Really? That's great. You're helping with all the things that I used to do for her. Seems like you've given her a boost of confidence with your encouragement. Now then, I can't really help her prepare for the thesis defense, so I'll be leaving some notes behind instead. You'll have to give them to her later. Okay, I should get started on those notes. If there's anything you're curious about, you may go ahead and ask now. I can answer you as I write. I'm used to multitasking. Oh, and I have to ask a favor. When you give the notes to her later, please don't tell her about my existence. Well, she's always been in a fragile state. If she knew that there was another Layla who's always taking care of everything, she might feel like everything she's ever worked for is pointless, and that could lead to some demoralizing thoughts. She's a resilient girl, but no matter how resilient she may be, no one can hold up to criticism and torment from themselves. If her condition grows any worse, it's possible that I might cease to exist as well. Then there wouldn't be anyone to help her. She's getting better though, isn't she? It's apparent how hard she's working now. She's my source of knowledge. I'm merely the representation of how she would be if she were rested and healthy. I believe that she's one of the best, even in a place like the academia where geniuses come by the handful. But growth is a process and shouldn't be rushed. I will always believe in and support her. Believe me, even if she were to end up at rock bottom, she'd find a way to somehow laugh it off as one of her silly mistakes and climb her way out. That's the kind of person she is. Alright, I've written down all the possible questions that I think the advisors might ask. Next, I'll put together a few words of encouragement for her. I'm not going to sign it, obviously. Oh, and don't forget about our agreement. Hello?
Yes, I am.
You're starting to make me feel nervous. I'm sorry. I feel a little dizzy. I'm okay. My mind just decided to stray elsewhere for a moment. Give me a second to gather myself. Oh, is this the celestial globe that I needed to borrow?
Correct. I was about to test you with a few questions, but you suddenly started looking very uncomfortable.
Oh, don't worry about it. I don't sleep very well, so I tend to get a little dizzy from time to time. I'm fine now.
She seems a little different all of a sudden. Oh, I see. Well then, can you briefly summarize your area of research for me?
With pleasure. I'll give you a general overview. You're probably aware that astrologists rely on the movements of the celestial bodies to calculate the past and the future. Due to the difficulty of designing an experiment and the challenges of validating theories about the past, astrological research is usually based on an immense foundation of experience. And therein lies the largest complexity. Derived and validated conclusions may vary due to subtle changes caused by the flow of time and shifts in the stars.
Ah, I've heard about this before. I believe it's known as astral shift.
One of the most classic challenges is to use 3 stars with shifting orbits to predict the overall changes that may have occurred.
Ah, are you referring to the triple orbit problem? Yes, that really is a classic problem, and a very difficult one to tackle.
I came up with a set of prediction methods that encompass more than half of the triple orbit problems. However, there are quite a few limitations and requirements. This set of methods is already being put into practice at the Ratawa Starshan by my advisor, drastically simplifying the difficulty of calculations involved in the triple orbit problem.
Yes, I've heard about that. The announcement made big waves in the astrology enthusiast community. So, you were the one who came up with that?
You mustn't judge a book by its cover, you know. The thesis I'm working on this time aims to address the remaining triple orbit problems, as well as eliminate a portion of the methodology's limitations, which will make it easier to use.
I see. In that case, perhaps there's no one more fitting to operate this device than you. I just keep it as part of a collection. I can't use it to its full potential like you can.
Thank you for understanding. I'll return it in perfect working order once I'm finished with it. Okay, we should be going now. What did we plan to do after this? I kind of forgot. Huh? What makes you say that? Is there something off about me? Fine. Looks like I can't keep the act up any longer. I even tried to look a little panicky to emulate her behavior. I suppose that is what she's been calling me. With her long-term sleep deprivation, whenever her anxiety peaks, she loses consciousness and I take over. However, her unpredictable and variable sleep patterns are completely out of my control, so I have to make every second count. There's no one willing to help her here, so I have to step in. I am rather curious about you, though. Why are you trying to help her? Really? That's great. You're helping with all the things that I used to do for her. Seems like you've given her a boost of confidence with your encouragement. She's only steps away from the finish line. She's already made a lot of progress, so there's no need to push too hard now. Anyway, what's the plan from here? I see. Well, it wouldn't be of any help if I practiced for her, but I'll leave some notes that should come in handy. Come on, let's go back to the House of Dana to make preparations. You'll have to tell her later when she wakes up. Okay, I should get started on those notes. If there's anything you're curious about, you may go ahead and ask now. I can answer you as I write. I'm used to multitasking. Oh, and I have to ask a favor. When you give the notes to her later, please don't tell her about my existence. Well, she's always been in a... She might feel like if her condition grows any worse, she's my... I believe that, but growth is a process. That's the kind... I'm not going to... Let's sit down. No. We're here. Completely relaxed? But we're at a cafe. Is this not relaxing enough? I know. How do I... Sights? I used to... Okay. Even the air here feels more relaxing. I just want to forget about... this doesn't count as... That's quite the legitimate I grew up in... Oh, those were the happiest days. No matter what ingredients we found... No, it wasn't that bad. Apples and zaytun peaches were the most popular fruits back then. Oh, and of course, grilled fish is delicious too. Oh, fish skin releases oils while cooking, which drip into the fire and cause it to burn even brighter. But we would always get yelled at by the grown-ups if they caught us sneaking into the river to catch fish. What's the big deal? We just want to swim. That's what we used to say. But now that I think about it, it really was quite dangerous. Thank goodness nothing bad ever happened. I think we found enough now, don't you? these should be enough. There's nothing like the smell of fresh ink. I'll be here cleaning the ingredients. Fresh food is the best. We all use it doesn't matter. Oh, how about you? Whatever the case, in the end, I passed the admission later at. I can't go. Here. From now on, I. a little bit. I thought it'd be, but now I feel like I'm fully enjoying myself. You're right. I care. Huh? A swim? I can't remember the last time I went swimming. I might not. Okay. Wait. No. I'll definitely lose. Wait, we're starting already? As really? But that's just like how, on top of that, please, here, but swimming, I'm just kidding, of course. Let's keep going. There's a mushroom here. You want to jump on it to see what's up there? I haven't done this in a while. I kinda want to give it a try. We've walked, but I barely felt the time passing by. I've been staring at. You're right. You really release. But it. All right, I'll give it a try. Ah! What an amazing day! It feels like my entire body is bubbling with excitement after yelling like that. This happiness was so common as a child, but before I knew it, this feeling was buried in the bottom of my heart. It's getting late. Why don't we... Oh, but it's alright if you don't want to listen to that kind of stuff. We can also tell jokes about life. Okay. Then I'll tell you more about me. The only reason I ever chose to study astrology is because of how beautiful the stars are at night. That's all. My teacher told me that nature possesses a certain power that grants people an equal amount of kindness and fairness, regardless of the different talents they may possess. And that's why I wanted to call the kind person who's always helping me as the blessing from the stars. The stars in the sky are something that brings happiness to people. Everything about home is filled with purity and passion. My memories of that place are wonderful. I never want to forget them. If I were to ever discard anything, that's why, no matter... Yeah. We probably still have a while until the stars come out. Only kids sit around like this. waiting for the stars to appear.